Hi there, it's Sue Stapp, and I'm here with my Zoom stamping friends, and we are going to be doing a workshop. We'll all be on Zoom, and we'll be putting these cards together. So you have the kits, and you have some prep work to do before we get together. But I did want to go over and just remind you that the stamp set we're using is called Vine Design, and that has these beautiful sentiments and vines and flowers. This is the set. I have a couple extra cut out here, but my favorite part of this set is the flowering vine dies. Look at the intricacies of these dies. They're fabulous. And there's these two, and then there's also a circle one, and then there's a bunch of small ones. And there's a big long banner one, which we'll be using all of these in our kit. There's 4 card kits, and this is how they look, the dies after they're cut out. So you could put them against any color and they would look fabulous. You wouldn't have to work real hard to put these together. I hope you enjoy the selections I have for you. The first one I want to show you, and when you get your card kit, you have purchased the dies and the stamp set already. So the first one we're going to do is we're using Gorgeous Grape for the base. You get a inset here that shows all the items that are included, and you get 2 ribbons here. One's made into a bow already and one's a ribbon, and I'll explain that in just a minute. And then you have a scrap piece of white paper that you're going to use to stamp and cut out the flowers, and then you have a piece of white for the front that you're going to stamp with the vine, and then a piece of white for the inside. So how this goes together is you'll put it on top of the purple and pink DSP, or you can use the other side and use the peach color if you'd like to do that. It's your option. So what the card looks like is, I did 2 of them for you because it's 2 different ways. The first one here, we have the vines that are just continuing along in a diagonal. Now you can do them this way, or you could do them in all 4 corners, or you could go straight across the page here. On this one, I use the ribbon, and this is our tritone ribbon with the purple. See how it shimmers and shines? And then I stamp the flowers and use the die cut to cut those out. Now those are used, lifted up with dimensionals, and that's the color combination I chose. But you can choose any combination you so desire. And I did this one as a sympathy card. Now this is one of the sentiments that's on your card set, the stamp set. And then I did this one with the 2 vines facing each other. So they're pointing in, there's more greenery in the middle of the card than there is on the edges. And on this one I just did Thinking of You. I love that type style. And then on this one I used the bow instead of the stretch of ribbon across. So you can use whichever design or however you want to use your pieces that you get. Or if you want to add the bow to this one, you can. That's up to you. Like I say, you get the flexibility of deciding what you want to do on these cards. Especially since you have the stamp sets, it gives you some ideas on things that you might want to do down the road. Now this is one of my favorite things to do, and it's a white on white card. And you can see the dimension on here. I used an embossing folder to do the flowers behind my die cut, and that is elevated up. I didn't use dimensionals on this because I wanted the whole sheet elevated. So I got a scrap of some foam that I have that I use for my workshops. And so this is a white cardstock. There's our list of contents. And what I'm giving you in here is the white piece of paper and a piece of the foam. You can see that that's maybe a 1/8 of an inch foam. It's not terribly thick. It'll still go through the mail, But what you want to do is you want to glue this on here. I use my liquid glue. And then you want to take your scissors and just trim along whatever part is hanging outside of the paper. And then that will get adhered right to the front of your card. And so that goes on, let me show you how this goes, like this. And it's the same color, so it's not going to give a lot of difference on there, but that height really does show up good on the card itself. This is the embossing folder. It's a country floral embossing folder, and that goes on the top there. And then you have a piece of white cardstock for your die, and you'll run that through your die cutting machine. And I also have 3 pearls on here for you to put on top. And then there's a scrap of white cardstock, which you will stamp the sentiment that you choose to put on your card and the outline edge of the banner. You can see that that's part of the stamp set. And then you run that through the die cutting machine and you get this beautiful die with the nice scalloped edges. I like that. So that is card number 2. Get all these pieces back in here. And like I say, white on white is one of my favorites. That always turns out so nice. I love it that it's elegant. You could use that, like I said, for any occasion. And the next one is using some blue, and we've got some bling on this one. So what I've used on here is Balmy Blue Glimmer paper, and this is a glitter paper that the glitter doesn't come off. It's adhered on there in the manufacturing of this. There's a sentiment at the bottom that says hello there, and this is what's called a gatefold card. And the gatefold card is actually, it's a half a sheet of cardstock, just like our standard A2 cards, but instead of folding it in the middle, you're going to take on the ends of it and you're going to score that at 2 1/8 on each side, and then they fold in and they'll meet in the middle. Now what you have in here is you're going to have a piece of white cardstock that's going to go in the middle, and you can stamp that if you desire, put some of the flowers on it or whatever. And the you have a piece of balmy blue cardstock, which you will cut the die out of. This is the round one that I used on this one. You can see it there. And so what I did was I cut that out, and I just put a note on here with the pearls attached to it. But I cut that out, and then I glued that just by touching those points, a few points around there. I glue that onto this white piece, and then I put it in my Stampin' Trimmer, and I cut it. But I make sure I glue the die on first so that they match perfectly. And then I'm going to put my medallion here right in that seam. And so what I'll do is I'll cut that, and it will be perfectly divided in half. Nothing easier. That, you don't have to worry about placing them both on there because you're going to have them together to start with. And so that goes on. And then after that's on, you're going to cut out with your die, the little floral scallop one, you're going to cut out 3 from the glimmer paper. And I always suggest you die cut it from the back so that the dies aren't going right into the glimmer paper. It will cut through. And this is the sentiment. I did add pearls. There's 5 pearls attached in your kit, and I put there's 3 glimmer flowers, and then there's 5 flowers with pearls in the middle. And to do the outside, to keep your gatefold card together, what I did was I took my metallic edge ribbon and I just tied a simple knot around here. Actually, I made it a double knot, and you should have plenty of ribbon to do that. You don't want it terribly tight so that they can't open it, but I moved this to the side, and then I took my sentiment, the little hello there, and I used a dimensional, and I put the dimensional just on the ribbon so that whenever they take this off, they still have this beautiful card. So how special is that? I love the white and blue. And it really does give you that extra bling with the glimmer plate paper. So let me move this aside. I got one more to show you because there's 4 kits that you're getting with each month. And this one is a little different. I like using this one. Well, I like using all of them, but I like this one because it stands out against this brown so beautifully. And you can see I used a scalloped oval from the Duo Oval Punch, and then I put a message in here wishing you the best year yet, and that's from the Best Year stamp set. And some of these I know we have done before, and you already have the stamp set, so that is in there. And same way, now what you're going to do with your, for the die cut piece on this one is you're going to die cut the oval, and then you're going to put a piece of scratch paper under there, and you're going to actually color in the die cut pieces. So those are just done with my alcohol markers. And you want to be careful when you're using alcohol markers. They will bleed through the paper, so be careful with what you have underneath them so that it doesn't get ruined. And you can use any colors you want on this. I mean, it's beige and brown, so if you wanted to do all pinks or purples or oranges or whatever, you have that creative flexibility. I like to see what you do with the cards too. So I hope you enjoy this month, and the only things that you probably need to do beforehand are to cut out your dies so you don't have to have your big shot on your desk or your die cutting machine. But I really like this set. I think it's so cool. It's like with a little bit of work you get such great impact. So again, I'll show you the cards. We had the 2 purple ones. I'll stack those one on top of the other, upside down. We had the brown one, and we have the blue one, and our other one is the white on white. There it is. Isn't that elegant? God, I just love it. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate your business and shopping with me, and I love doing the cards with everyone. Hopefully soon. I've had my 2 shots because I'm in that age group that could qualify, and I know many of my friends are waiting to get some have gotten them, but I know that there's more shots coming out now in single doses. So everyone, I hope you all get your vaccinations, and we will be able to get together in a group and do these, and not just by Zoom. But I do appreciate your support. If you'd like to join a Zoom for next month, get a hold of me. My email is suestap1@gmail.com. My 24/7 store for Stampin' Up! Is suestap.stampinup.net, and my website is suestap.com. So again, thank you so much, and happy stamping!